that corner.
I couldn't ask for a better exit.
An exit from Spalding Rehab in Cambridge, surrounded by the men and women he says saved his life over the past 2 months.
I was completely lost for words. I broke down and cried.
Thank you, everybody who got me to stay alive and get to be where I am right now.
Where he was, a stark contrast. Admitted to the hospital in January with severe lung issues. Doctors at the time said his chances of survival were slim. Then last month, he somehow contracted COVID-19 while in rehab.
How I got that, I don't know. No other staff or patient has that virus. To contract this virus on top of it, you're calling me a miracle man.
Thoman says his granddaughters helped him pull through. The staff at Spalding playing Don't Stop Believing as he left. He's grateful for their sacrifice and their belief in him.
You folks deserve all the credit. You're the front line. You're putting your life in jeopardy, myself and every other person that's here with this virus. And I give you a lot of credit for that.
Now he says Don't Stop Believing by Journey is a very fitting song for this crisis. He says if you keep the faith and don't stop believing in yourself, you can beat it too.
He's out here doing a food distribution to help offset those families affected from Horry County schools not providing the grab-and-go lunches anymore. So we came together late last week, Friday, to set up this one and one on Wednesday at the Convention Center. But today we're serving 500 families, and that's the size that we're going to be feeding in all of the mass distributions. I mean, we don't want anyone in our community to go hungry. I mean, food is one of the basic needs for anyone to survive. So, of course, we're all in this together.
So far, things have gone really well. We've got enough food today for 500 families, and we're going to replicate the same thing again on Wednesday at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. We'll start at 3 o'clock, and it'll go to 6 o'clock, and we'll have an additional supplies for 500 families again. If you're at home and you're wondering how I can help and be a part, I don't want to go out there, but yet I'd love to be a part. You can contribute, and for $30, you'll pay for enough food that we can put into each car. You can give to the Waccamaw Community Foundation, and every dollar that will come right back to buy more food for next week.
Also, there's a sign of hope for some patients that are continuing to battle the coronavirus.
Exactly. A new program by Vitalant would collect plasma donations from recovered COVID-19 patients to help the critically ill. Fox 10's Jennifer Martinez has more. Jen.
Hey, good evening, guys. So I spoke to the first man to donate his plasma here in the Valley in Arizona, and he says that this was his way of giving back.
After I tested negative, and they basically proposed the idea to me that, this is donating plasma in the early stages right now, but it could really potentially help out people since we don't have a vaccine.
It's been more than 3 weeks since Jack Schmidtlein has recovered from COVID-19 after contracting it while studying abroad in Barcelona. Now the 21-year-old has decided to be among one of the first people in the Valley to donate his convalescent plasma to community blood service provider Vitalant. It launched a program to treat people who are currently fighting the disease.
This is an approved FDA experimental treatment that is one of the first tools that has become available to help some of the sickest of the COVID-19 patients.
The way it works is any patient who has recovered and has been symptom-free for at least 14 days after their negative test can donate.
By providing a patient with plasma from somebody who has since recovered from coronavirus, it's believed that those antibodies can help the patient fight the disease more easily. People who have already had coronavirus and recovered from it have likely developed antibodies that could help other people fight the disease. So by giving convalescent plasma, a donor can provide those antibodies that might make the difference between life and death for some patients.
The program is still in its early stages, but for Jack, he says he is one of the lucky ones who had minor symptoms, head cold, dry cough, tight chest, and loss of taste, and now recovered. He says donating his plasma was the least he can do.
I felt like this is a great way to almost, I was in a position to give back. And, like you said, there's people dying and loved ones can't go see their other loved ones in the hospital, and it's terrible. So if this can even help out, like I said, one person, I made a difference for one person, maybe they can live. So I think that's the thing, and that's a ripple effect across the country that could potentially happen.
Walk me through it. When did you realize you were sick?
I realized I was sick roughly March 5th.
And how did you know? What was happening to you? Symptoms?
At March 5th, I was just displaying some basic symptoms, and they were coming and going. And then like a week later, the symptoms came back, and they were persistent. They weren't going away to the point my doctor wanted to see me and get an evaluation.
So you went in and got a test and found out you were COVID-19 positive, right? Were you hospitalized? What meds did you take?
No, the test I went and got was a chest x-ray, and I had the beginning stages of pneumonia. 2 days later, I had the COVID test, and then 3 days later, they tested positive.
Oh. Can you tell me how bad it got, and if you were ever worried that I wonder if I'm going to make it?
Yes, once I heard the positive results, I was extremely worried, concerned, not knowing what's going to happen to me. Am I going to get hospitalized? Am I put on a ventilator? What's going to happen next to me based on what was happening here in the States? A lot of concern and worry, and on top of the illness, extremely pain when I was coughing, fever, slight fever, chills, aches, etc.
Now, when did you start getting better?
I'm sorry?
I can see you're better now. You're back at work, which is great to see. I know it's been tough, but now that you are better, you want to help others. I understand you're enrolled in a Stanford trial in which you're going to use your blood and your antibodies, right, to help others. Can you explain what's going to happen there?
Yeah, once I got to the point of feeling better, back to work, I knew I recovered from this basically all on my own. With a will to fight and fight through this.
$1 million with the help of your donations to purchase up milk, gallons of milk from Wisconsin dairy farmers. So earlier this month, we showed you this video of local farmers dumping milk into drains. The industry is really seeing a surplus right now during the pandemic as schools and restaurants remain shut down. So this new buyback program gets money flowing back into these farms and then gets milk to families in need. This is all done with the help of increased donations that the Hunger Task Force is seeing during this time.
It's been absolutely amazing since the initiation of the pandemic, and people just came to Hunger Task Force. They got online, they made those gifts, and it's making a huge difference for local families, especially the newly unemployed, people who have never applied for food share before, people who don't know how to use the food pantry, people who just need a little bit of help right now, and we're glad that we can be there to help them.
So to put this in perspective, weekly, the task force moves about a semi's worth of milk just in Milwaukee County, but they are also sending pallets to surrounding communities too. And you, WISM viewers, can help out. From here on out, the money that you donate to our food drive that we have online will go to this milk recovery program. It'll help purchase all of these gallons of milk. It will get it bottled, and then it will get it to families in need here in our community. Eden.
So glad that milk is not going to waste. Thank you so much, Hannah. And just that Hannah had mentioned that we do have this drive, this donation going on. And so far, you guys have helped us to raise more than $313,000 in our online food drive with Hunger Task Force. That's a lot of money. So a big thank you to everybody who's donated. And that money will fill 4,100 boxes with an emergency food supply for families who are in need right now.